Okay, how are you? Today we want to deal with the problem of formatting a file, a Word file, for so I can grade it with inline grading. The problem with inline grading is that I only get a small window to work with. So what used to be an advantage, lots of white space in the document, is now a disadvantage. So right now we're looking at sort of a typical messy homework that we want to answer the questions, and the key is to use single spaced and to group things as tightly as possible. The text, put the answer near the question in a different font. So I can see both the question and the answer at the same time. There's two other problems which we won't deal with in this video, but the second problem is how to do references quickly, and that we can do too. And the third problem is how to number figures and equations so you can make use of them and talk about them in your answers at some point. But we'll save those two things. Right now we're just looking at a homework which has my name on it, but it's actually not really mine. This is actually a useful discussion of what we're trying to do. The fonts. Type your each question after you can read it. Show you read the relevant articles. This is all good advice. I'm glad it's here. But we don't need these things. These are readings. And here's actually the question we want to answer. And it's in a red font, which is sort of convenient. But I shouldn't. I like 10 is really the best. You can make it 11 at the most, but this answer is not good because first the answer is far from the question, and it is in a different color, which is what it's supposed to be, but it's too big, and you can see there's a lot of space. So let's make it 10 too, and maybe make it a different color just to be dramatic. Maybe dark blue is good. That seems good. So the problem here is that the answer is too far from the question. Here's the question. So what we want to do is move this and put the answer to this question right after the question. That's the key. There's other problems here with this. This answer is a little bit long, and it needs kind of better references, but we're going to set up the basic. Here's the question. There's the question mark. That's the end. And here's, these are a lot of readings, but we can avoid them. Actually, what we're supposed to do, to be fair, is to put the answer right after the question. Okay. The IMF refuses. Okay. And then this is relevant to this. So we need to put this here. And then, can the IMF help? Who should provide debt relief now? This question is actually here. So let's move this up here. It looks like, I mean, I didn't write this question, so I don't know what part I'm answering, but it seems like this person is answering these first two questions, and then who can and should be has to do with another reading, which is the DeGraw reading. This Foxy U is good. Generally, the references should be always the APA style, the author and the title. You only have to do it once. You have to put in the date once, and then later not right now. We could do the DeGraw reference. So then B is here. So we have to finish moving this. Sorry, I should have done this all at once. We could use 11 as I said, but let's try and, so there it is. Okay, and here's the next section. And so we want to put the next section here. And each question actually has an answer. This is misspelled. Houseman. Just use this spelling up here. You don't have to, that's not a big deal. I know what you mean. But what year is it? It's 2015. Sorry for the Senegalese music in the background, but I like music. I like videos with music. So I thought I would try it. I hope it's not distracting. Okay, so we're going to make this 10, and we're going to put this, so you get the basic idea. Now what if we, this is actually what I should have done. I should have given you the good references. So now you can see it's very dense, and you can tell where the question is. It would be good to, but is this bold? No. It would be good to put it in bold, one of them in bold. You don't need to. It's all right. It helps a little bit in this case. You don't have to. But this is nice. Now I can sort of see what's going on, and it's very dense, and everything is there. So the last question is how to do the reference if we want to do the reference properly. And that, again, and that's something that I should have done, and I often do later, but I didn't do this time. So let's find the DeGraw reading and reference it, because I've done that before. Where is it? Oh, that's the Guardian. We could do that too. Here it is. Here's the DeGraw article. So what I would do here is open this hyperlink. There it is. And then I don't want to write out the reference because I'm in a hurry and I'm too busy. So I just click Google Scholar and I punch the title in here. And this often works. In this case, it doesn't quite work. If I look at, but these are people that cite it. So by clicking the year that it was, now I have only that reference. Cited by 2. Usually you can click cite and you get the right citation, and I use APA. But that doesn't quite work in this case because actually no one has really cited it. Or I take that back. 2 people have cited it, but Google Scholar has not figured out what the reference is. So here's a recent article that cited it. It's a St. Louis Fed article, so I can pull up the PDF. And sure enough, the St. Louis Fed, this is a horrible article actually, but the St. Louis Fed knows how to cite BoxEU, almost. They cite it in the right format. So we're going to copy it because we're lazy and we don't want to have to do the reference ourselves. Again, I should have done this, but we're doing it now. And you can do the same thing. You can find almost every article that we used has been cited in. And so let's go back to the homework we're doing. Here it is. And at the end of our answer, we put references. This is if we really want to get like extra credit. So because I did the wrong thing, there it is. So this is the format. It's the GRA. It's actually not quite perfect. What we want is closer to APA, which is 2015. So we don't need this. And actually, the person who works for the St. Louis Fed and was doing a blog entry was wrong. This is Foxy U. That's fine. You can see it's Foxy U right here. So now what we have is we have the author, we have the title, we have the publication site, we have the date, and we have the URL. A lot of people just paste the URL. That's not good. I paste links, but I shouldn't do that either. So now we go up here and we have the GRA 2015, like right here. And this is what we're talking about, I think. So there it is. We did it. We've done enough in this video. We have our references. We have our dense, incredibly dense with no white space. We could even, we don't need to turn this in. These are the instructions that you should read, not me. And so you don't need to turn them in. This is the perfect page. Everything, this whole question is on one page. The one other thing I did is I used narrow margins. No, I didn't use narrow. I used moderate. I could have used narrow. Then it's even better. Everything, half the homework can be on one page. And that's the idea, is to get things as dense as possible. Oh, this video